Ever wondered just how big the universe is? Well, it's a bit like asking how long is a piece of string, but way more complicated. You see, the universe isn't just a static size. It's expanding, growing, like a balloon being filled with air or a yeast dough on a warm day. And it's not just expanding, but accelerating in its expansion. Now imagine you've got a bag of crisps. You're munching away, thinking you're nearing the bottom, and then, surprise, you discover another handful. That's a bit like our universe. Just when we think we've got a grasp on its size, it throws us another handful of galaxies. But here's the real kicker. If the universe is this never-ending bag of crisps, where does that leave us? Well, in the grand scheme of things, we're pretty much just the crumbs at the bottom of the bag. Not very flattering, is it? Now let's try to put some numbers on this. But remember, in the universe, numbers have a tendency to get a bit silly. So let's start with the term light year. It's not a measure of time, as one might think, but a measure of distance. It's the distance light travels in 1 year. And how far is that, you ask? Well, let's put it in a way that might be a bit easier to comprehend. Imagine you have a very energetic dog. You know, the kind that just can't sit still. Now, say you decided to walk your dog around the Earth. Not just your neighborhood, but the whole Earth. It's a daunting task, isn't it? But bear with me. Now let's say your dog is so energetic that you could walk it around the Earth 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for an entire year. You'd cover a distance of about 7.5 million miles. Impressive, right? But here's where things get a bit silly. A light year? It's about 6 trillion miles. That's right, trillion, with a T. So, if you wanted to walk your dog a distance of 1 light year, you'd have to stroll around the Earth a mind-boggling 800,000 times. And that's if you didn't stop for a single second to catch your breath. Or let your dog sniff a tree, or, sleep. So when we talk about the universe being billions of light years across, we're talking about distances that make a walk around the Earth look like a jaunt to the corner shop for a bag of crisps. So, if our universe is a bag of crisps and we're the crumbs, then a light year is, well, it's the distance the fastest crisp crumb could travel in a year. Makes sense, right? So let's try to sum this all up. But remember, this is the universe we're talking about. It doesn't like to be summed up. It's a bit like trying to count all the grains of sand on a beach while being distracted by a particularly cheeky seagull. You might get a few handfuls in, but then, oh look, a seagull. And off you go, forgetting your count and starting all over again. That's the universe for you, always throwing curveballs. Now we've talked about the universe, this unfathomably vast expanse of everything we know and don't know. It's so large that we had to invent a whole new unit of measurement, the light year, just to give us a fighting chance of comprehending its size. And even then we're left scratching our heads, wondering how anything can be so mind-bogglingly enormous. We've also touched on the fact that we, humans, are but a tiny, infinitesimal speck in the grand scheme of things. It's a humbling thought, isn't it? Amidst all this cosmic vastness, we're just a little crumb, floating around in a never-ending bag of crisps. And yet, despite our smallness, we've managed to learn so much about this universe of ours, and we continue to learn more every day. And finally, we've delved into the concept of light years, this incredible speed at which light travels. It's the fastest anything in the universe can move, and yet, when we use it to measure the universe, it still takes millions, billions, even trillions of these light years to get from one end to the other. It's enough to make your head spin, isn't it? So there you have it. The universe is a never-ending bag of crisps. We're the crumbs, and light years are the fastest a crumb can travel. And if that doesn't blow your mind, well, you might just be a universe-sized genius, or a seagull.